Premier League is getting competitive. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest,
Brighton.
Newcastle, pushing
for
for
the top 4. They're actually
matches.
better than the big 6 right now. How did you come to support Man City over Man United, the preferred choice for many?
We need to move on from the City era.
If we actually manage to win the Europa League, we will win the Champions League. Can you imagine? As a Man United fan, I'm looking forward to the next season. Madrid is Madrid. It's gonna
Another
happen.
triple touch is going to happen.
Again, we're at the crossroads.
We like everything opposite, so
Hello guys, welcome to the first ever episode, our first ever podcast on our channel, Offside Antics. I'm Siddharth, or Sid, and my favorite teams are Man United and Real Madrid. And this right here is...
I'm Hito and I support City. And I have a Barca bias because of Messi and Pep Guardiola.
So we, as you can see, we are perfect rivals and...
We like everything opposite.
Exactly. So we came up on a random day. We just came up with this idea, why not talk about it? We just love talking about football anyways. Why not talk about it over a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
So here we are, and this is our first ever video, as you can see. So we are still amateurs in this. We just like to yap about football, and some things we might talk about might be wrong. So please do correct us.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it. We'll talk about what excites us and what we think is right. And that's about it.
And a lot about our teams.
Mainly about our teams and our favorite players.
Yeah. But we love football. So
we love football in general. So any ideas you have or anything you want to correct us on,
or you want us to talk about,
feel free to. So starting off with Man City.
Yeah.
So why or how did you come to support Man City over Man United, the preferred choice for many?
I think it started off with Man United only. Like I didn't have any idea about football. I was young, and in my family it was mostly about cricket, so I never really got to know about football. My parents were having a party, and there was this one person who I don't even know him. He came up to me and he was talking about Man United. He was like in his mid-20s, so obviously you expect him to be a Man United supporter. And I didn't know about the club, so I was like, okay, fine, man. So after that, after my exams, my dad got me a PlayStation 2. And I think it was FIFA 12 or something, 12, 13. And instead of playing with Man United, I mistakenly started playing with City. And slowly, I just fell in love with the players. And after Pep came in, I loved De Bruyne, the way he plays. In the game also, he felt really good. And after Pep came in, it just, when you see the team play, you feel... They didn't play that good in that Leicester season. But then I loved the team, and slowly I started supporting it more and more, and still a comparatively younger fan. But yeah, the love for it is the same. So,
and that your Barca bias came from Pep Guardiola and Messi?
Mostly Messi, because you see highlights of Messi in a Barca jersey. So mostly because of that, I liked Barca, the way they played, but I never really supported the team. I always had this kind of a feeling for City, which I never had for any other team. So I always there's this love for this team which I never felt for any other team. So that's how I only support City. Unfortunately, it's not been going good this season, but then we deserve one bad season, so it's fine.
After such a long stretch of dominance, it's fine.
It's fine, man.
And what about this season? What are your thoughts on how or what went wrong?
We have like a few dedicated videos coming out, so we'll talk about it in depth. But then aging players who are tired after winning so many titles, the legs in the defense, in the midfield, we have a lot of cracks. Our sporting director Chiki wanted to rebuild, but Pep said, we are fine, we are okay. Pep said he likes having a small team, but then you have to understand they are almost reaching their 30s. Some players are in their
beyond
mid-30s. Yeah. So it was a little difficult this season for us, but with the new signings, I see a good team, good rebuild. There's a lot of players who are going to leave, a lot of players that are going to come. So I think it's all going to work out. Let's hope for the best. What do you think?
For City? City, I think this season's done. This maybe a top 4 finish is the saving grace you guys have, because you're already out of the UCL. Cup competitions are done. Top
No,
four
I think we can win the FA Cup.
you still are in the FA Cup.
We are in the
My
FA
bad.
Cup. We are one of the like the big six. We are the only team that is still in the FA Cup. So I think we can win it.
So,
But then there are, I think United is out.
United is.
I think it's Newcastle or something in the FA Cup. So yeah, I hope we can win against them. There are a few teams who are left still. I have forgotten the table, but there are high chances of us winning the FA Cup. But then you never know. Like whatever we expected from City in the beginning of the season, we were like one more treble.
This is topsy-turvy season for you guys.
Very, very weird. Like nobody expected. So
even in the winter transfer window, I was talking to my friends about this. I just told them ki it's classic City. They play terribly all season, then suddenly the second half they go on and win the league.
Yeah, that's how we all expected. But then once we started losing games badly, like against Sporting, like during that time, Amorim was announced as the next Man United manager, and that was the last game under Amorim. So
Gyökeres scored a hat-trick, I think.
I think he scored a hat-trick and we lost, I think, 5-2. So after those games, I started feeling, and after seeing the players not performing, like even in the previous seasons, we could still understand that, they can come back. This season, all I saw was mistakes, leaky defense, major missing of Rodri. So I think this season is done. We should just move on, but highly focus on finishing top 4, because if we don't finish top 4, that's going to be a really big issue. Top 5 actually.
Premier League has 5 UCL spots, right?
So top 5 actually. So we are trying to push for top 4. But even if we finish 5th, I mean, if we are in the UCL, it's good. I can't believe I'm saying this, man. The standards,
because United saying this is fine. It's regular.
It's always winning the Premier League. So I think it's one of the tough stages of City, but it's great to see that nobody's panicking. Even the fans, they are really hopeful. The club, I think a new sporting director is coming in. I think his name is Hugo Vieira or something. New sporting director is coming in. It's going to be good.
So you have high hopes for next season?
We have high hopes for next season. I think everybody believes in Pep. I mean, however much you say he's going to get sacked in the next morning.
No, Pep is Pep.
Pep is Pep. He transformed football. Transformed Premier League football actually. No more
boring parking the bus.
Parking the bus 4-4-2 formations. No more booting the ball. It's more about tactics. Although some people say that the magic of football is gone because of Pep. I think
over-analyzing things.
Yeah, that because you don't get to see that special talent because now everything is very structural.
Yeah, people say that all the players in his team are systematic players.
Systematic.
Like, in the system they work.
Yeah, like Foden, people say that when Foden is out of the system, he can't play.
Like, and right now he's proving them right actually.
In England he's struggling. So is Rashford. But I think next season Foden is tired. He played too many games. He's mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. Last season he played so many games covering for injured Haaland. So a lot of things going on in Manchester City. Very unfortunate. Like the defense is gone. More about that in the video that's going to come up very soon. So very hopeful for next season. I think we can do it. Rebuild is going to happen. And I think City is a type of a club. Man United, most of the problems come from the club itself. So
you guys have external problems.
We just have issues with the players, and I think the players can be, I don't want to say replaced. It'll sound bad, but then we do need to get
move on.
Yeah, we need to move on from the City era that we had. Hopefully, it's going to be City era again soon.
I don't want that, but
yeah. The league is getting competitive because of very structural football and newer managers coming in like Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, Newcastle. These teams are like playing to win, not to draw or anything. They are playing to win.
They're actually better than the big six right now if you think about it.
Way better. Except maybe Liverpool and Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal is surviving because of the defense and set pieces. Except that I don't see anybody scoring goal in that team. They need a striker. We'll talk about that. But currently I think in the Premier League there are just the lower, like, I don't want to call them lower level teams or whatever.
Previously lower level teams.
Yeah, like mid-table teams. They are now pushing
for
for
the top 4 even.
top 4, top 10. So it's good to see that Premier League is getting competitive. Great time for new
football fans to get into
football. So,
like English football has always been a pathway for football fans. People know the English teams except Barca and Madrid maybe. They know the English teams and they just get into. So right now, if you don't want to be called a plastic or glory hunter, so it's a good time to get.
It's a good time, and I feel like these mid-table teams. In India, there's not much football going around except the ISL for whatever reasons. But I think we'll get to see more fans of teams which in previous years we wouldn't have expected. Like now we can go and see Newcastle fans somewhere. We can go see maybe a Bournemouth fan. So it's good to see newer fans. So it's a good time to get into football. I think in India, I think there is a big Premier League fan base. So it'll be nice to see newer fans, supporting Premier League getting big in India. So hopefully with this whole rebuild system that is going on in the Premier League, the Barclays era will come back, the competitive football. So yeah, we are hoping for the best, and I think it will happen. I mean, even for Manchester United, everything will work out. I hope.
Speaking of Man
United,
so how I got into Man United.
Exactly, yeah.
So I was very young. I was just starting to play football. Actually, I used to play cricket before that because my dad is a cricketer.
Yeah.
So I used to play cricket and football. My school friends, even my complex friends, I used to play with them. So I had a knack for it. But then my older brother, thank you to him or curse him, I don't know how. So he first showed me a match of Man United. He was actually particularly showing me Ronaldo. Man United, he was there.
He's a Ronaldo fan.
He's a Ronaldo fan, boy. So he's actually a goalkeeper, but he loved Ronaldo. So he was showing me Ronaldo. So I casually saw him like, oh, he plays well. And I used to play as a forward. So I liked his play style. So gradually I started watching them. Watching. I became a fan of Ronaldo. And obviously Man United goes hand in hand. But as soon as I started watching Ronaldo, he left for Real Madrid. So
you watched the Ballon d'Or season?
I watched the Ballon d'Or season. The best. So that sold me dreams because peak Man United, peak Ronaldo. So he then switched to Real Madrid. So I was, as a supporter of Ronaldo, I switched to Madrid as well. But Man United was always there. So then, as I grew up, I also matured. Then I realized it's not just about the player. The player is amazing, my GOAT. So I started watching Man United properly again. They were still doing well. Mind you, this is 2013, their last ever Premier League in a long time. So they were doing well. We had Van Persie and all. And then Madrid is Madrid. They're always doing well.
What a player, by the way.
Van Persie. Lovely player. And Madrid is Madrid. 2012, Mourinho. So gradually, I just fell in love with the two teams rather than the player itself. Ronaldo is always my favorite player from Man United. And from Real Madrid, I have Ramos. So that's how I got into football. And I even have posters of them in my room. I'll show them in the video someday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got into Man United. So that might have been a mistake, but at that time it seemed as a dream. But right now, at least one of my teams do well.
Yeah.
Speculation. It's all speculation. Madrid aren't doing so well, but more on that later. So speaking of Man United's current form, I'll speak in depth about it in a separate video which will be coming soon.
Yes.
But to give a summary of it all, this season's done. We made a lot of mistakes. Even though we had a lot of hope because we had new owners, new manager, new good signings, yet it didn't work out as we planned it to work out as well. But it's fine. This season, we are going to finish very low. I think it's our record lowest ever. Yeah. We are still below 10th.
Oh my god, yeah.
We are in 12th or 13th right now as of we're recording. So, and our worst ever finish is 8th, which was last season.
So,
nothing is going well for us, but at least we have signs because finally our new manager is trusting in the youth. Actually, a previous manager was doing that as well. He kind of brought the culture back in.
Yeah.
So we have youngsters who are balling out, at least were balling out before getting injured or out of form.
Yeah.
And then we have our experienced players like Casemiro who have come back, reawakened their form, which is fine. And then we have a shining Portuguese, again a Portuguese star boy in Bruno. So they are saving us. Premier League is done for.
Bruno has been saving you guys
United
for a long time. Yeah.
Since the COVID era. He came in and just revamped the whole team.
Yeah.
So yeah. So as I said, this season Premier League is done. We just hope for maybe a top 10 finish. Man United a top 10 finish. So bad. Top 10 Europa League. My hope, because if we actually manage to win the Europa League, we will win the Champions League. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's how we'll get in the Champions League.
That's the only way we can get in. So there's no other way. Impossible for us to get a top 5 finish.
Yeah.
Not with how we are playing.
Yeah.
But at least we are showing signs of improvement.
Yeah.
The current results have been more or less good, at least for our standards.
Yeah.
So I'll be giving a more in-depth analysis in
the video. Yeah.
In the video,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's more of a short, crisp version of it. Yeah. Again, as similar to Man City, Man United, as a Man United fan, I'm looking forward to the next season where Amorim will have a full season of new squad, because we are getting rid of a lot of deadwood.
Same. Even
a lot of deadwood is leaving. Maybe even the older players who we have loaned out, maybe they come back and play well for us.
Or maybe they get sold.
Maybe they get sold. So either way, we are getting a new squad in some way or the other, which is more suitable for Amorim. The current squad he's playing with was made for Ten Hag.
Yeah.
You can't just expect him to implement his system, and it doesn't work that way.
Ten Hag didn't have like a...
Even though Ten Hag didn't have, he just bought players which he thought would work well. It didn't.
Which he, like people who he worked with in previous clubs.
Exactly. He just brought in Ajax players.
Yeah.
Anthony deal. It was so bad. 100 mil for
but
that.
But then
guy.
after going to
Betis is playing well.
Yeah.
It's just a United problem at this point.
I think so.
So a new ownership, new manager, a new season. It's a completely reset. It's a complete reset. So I'm hoping
both the teams. I think not even just our teams. Even if Arsenal signs like a newer striker,
Liverpool
slot gets like a proper transfer window where he can buy players.
Because he's going to lose a lot of players.
He's
the big names.
Big names he's going to lose. So I think we are going to see a very different side of the Premier League.
Exactly. Because the big six have sensed the newer, younger teams are pushing. And nobody would have expected Brighton and Bournemouth to overtake Man United and Man City.
We lost, man. We lost against them.
And convincingly. They win convincingly. It's not that a fluke win.
It's not like a undeserving win. Like, you know, previous seasons when teams used to win, mostly counterattacks.
Exactly.
It was so hurt. But now, seeing them play, it's a more deserving win. Like, they deserve to win.
Like, when I'm watching, I'm right, okay, fine, Bournemouth win. It's fine, they won. It's not like I'm hurt. Even
Nottingham Forest, I think they have like a different play style. They, you know, park the bus and stuff. But then...
it's getting the results.
The discipline, you still need discipline in the team, which they do have. I mean, the way every team is playing in the Premier League, except maybe like a few teams. But then, mostly it's competitive. Yeah. I think Wolves and stuff, I think those teams...
Even Leicester.
Leicester.
Fall from grace. Like, they aren't doing well.
Yeah, I mean, your Man United legend, Ruud van Nistelrooy came... He
worked well as a caretaker.
Yeah.
And then went... And he has a losing streak of how many games now?
I mean, even Wolves, I think, beginning of this year, they were fighting relegation. I think they're still fighting relegation or something. I don't know the table, but...
And ironically, these guys were considered the competition for the Big Six.
Yeah.
A few years ago, Wolves, Leicester, they were considered maybe the new Big Six.
Yeah.
Now they are the ones struggling, and
I think the consistent newer teams who are performing are probably Aston Villa, Newcastle. I mean, Aston Villa winning against Bayern, that was like a big shock. Even they didn't have like Rashford or Asensio.
They hadn't signed them yet.
So they had Watkins and John Duran. Great player. John Duran is now playing with Ronaldo. But
chase the bag.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would too.
Yeah.
But yeah, as in a whole, the whole of Premier League is in a rebuild phase. The whole image is changing.
Yeah.
We aren't it's not Man City's league anymore.
Yeah, it's not you can't call it a Farmers League.
It's done. Speaking of rebuilds, probably the biggest rebuild story of this season. Barca and your personal bias. What are your thoughts? And
I think Hansi Flick has done a great job. Like the way he has transformed the team, the way everybody is playing, a very young team. Even in the pre-season, we kind of got their idea of how they are going to play. Like youngsters, they're fully supporting youngsters. People that I didn't expect to play at that level again, like, Lewandowski, Inigo Martinez. Like,
they already passed their primes.
I didn't expect Inigo Martinez to play like the way he's playing, like his partnership with Kubarsi, who apparently is injured now after the Spain match.
Right.
So
is it a serious one?
I don't know about it yet, but he came off and Lenormand came in to play for
Big
Kubarsi's.
blow.
I hope he's fine.
I see. As a defender myself,
yeah.
He's a good player.
I think he'll recover. He played with stitches on his face. So
True Barca mentality.
Next Puyol. The way Koundé shifted from centre back to right back. The way Balde is playing, Yamal, Rafinha from saving leads to now getting Ballon d'Or shouts, which he probably might win if he wins the UCL. Great to watch. The way they won against Mbappe coming to Real Madrid, the way they won the El Clasico.
The first El Clasico. It was so hyped up.
Like GRX crashed.
Yeah. And people were talking about how Madrid were dominating before this season. And they were talking about finally a true competition. They wrecked us.
Like badly. The amount of times Mbappe went offside in that match.
And that celebration didn't help. Like, what was that? Like, come on. You can't be doing that. But
embarrassing.
It was so embarrassing. We were already struggling. You can't do that. But it's fine. All's forgiven now.
Yeah.
But Barca in general, they have already won the league, I assuming.
Yeah.
Because Madrid have never been strong on the league. UCL is their competition.
Yeah.
So Barca, I think they are sure shot winning this league this year. Champions League, they're probably reaching the final. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they have a 60-40 chance of winning if Madrid reach the final on that side.
We'll also come to that. Let's talk about Madrid. Since I am not that big on Barca, I only see them play and I like the way they play. I have seen Madrid more because of Man City and Man City playing against them, losing against them.
A new El Clasico of sorts in the Champions League.
Yes, I have seen Pep Guardiola and Ancelotti hyping it up, saying that this is kind of a new rivalry. But it's a good rivalry. It's not like
clean
Arsenal.
One. Arsenal Man City is dirty.
Even I think Real Madrid and Arsenal is going to be dirty, man. 100%.
Arsenal think so big of themselves. Like, no, calm down. You haven't won anything.
I feel like it's all talks and no
end product. They are just always hyping themselves up and then crashing down.
Yeah. And I think they're reaching to that level also to some extent, but then they're not performing on the big level still.
Like, Madrid, Arsenal is going to be a good match. Both talented teams, but you can't go and just call out Madrid like that in the Champions League. That too. Yeah, moving on to Madrid. Yeah, so as I said, it's one of my favorite teams.
Yes.
So this season again, Mbappe coming in was expected to shake things up, and it did.
Yes.
It worked out well, but it didn't work out well in terms that he came in, he is playing well. Even other players in the team are playing well, but I don't see our star performers for last season, especially Vini, affecting badly by it. Rodrigo has always been the second star. So he's not having problems with having another star on the team. Vini, on the other hand, was kind of expected to take up the role. He was given the 7 next Ronaldo and all. He had a great season. Ballon d'Or worthy season, obviously. But now that Mbappe is here, he has lost his spark. He's scared of losing his spot, and rightfully so. Mbappe is performing better. And people, me personally, prefer Mbappe over Vini. And the fact that they play in the same position is not working well for anyone. And that too, we lost Cruz. Big blow. Nobody yet Carvajal is injured.
I mean, he was already coming to the end of his career, but then
the injury made things worse. We don't have a proper right back. Valverde
should play in the midfield.
God, he's on our team. He plays in every position.
He should play in the midfield.
He should play in the midfield alongside Bellingham, who underrated. Very good season. He's not scoring goals. That's why he's not in the headlines. But
he can do everything.
He can do it. He's having a Pedri-esque season. Pedri doesn't have the stats, but he's exceptional.
Very important.
Similar to Bellingham. Like previously, when we had Vini on the left, Rodrigo on the right, and Bellingham was playing as the centre forward, he was scoring the goals, getting all the hype, blah blah blah. But now that we have a proper striker, he has dropped down to a more CM role. and he's not getting the goals and assists maybe,
Yeah.
but still instrumental
He's doing
to our
all the
team.
mazduri.
Yeah, lot of Mazuri.
Yeah.
Him and Valverde are probably, and Asensio.
Next
Our
Sergio
biggest
Ramos.
story yet.
Next Sergio Ramos.
Next Sergio Ramos. Him and Kubarsi on Spain.
Yeah.
Worth watching.
I think Kubarsi said something like, this kid is good or something. Dude
Bro,
is 5 years or 4 years
he's older than you.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's again set up for the future.
Yeah.
Our squad is very young now,
Yeah.
except for the likes of Modric, Carvajal, Courtois maybe.
Yeah.
Very young squad. Mbappe is gonna take the charge. He is the new leader of the team alongside Bellingham. Do you think Vini leaves?
I mean, I don't think he's going to leave because he's hell bent on becoming a Real Madrid legend.
Legend, huh?
But then he has to also perform.
And right now he is not.
Like Rodrigo I think is performing
Better.
much better.
Much better. And Mbappe is that star performer.
Yeah, so I think if he wants, I don't think he still fits in the team now currently.
No.
I think Rodrigo is better on the left than Vini.
And Mbappe is always better on the left.
Yeah. I feel like if Vini leaves and goes to a different team, I think he can perform and shine better. But then I don't think he's going to leave.
Nobody wants to leave Madrid on their own.
Especially somebody like Vini, who has already achieved so much in this club. It's very hard. I think it's very hard. But then you never know because he has always adapted and improved. He has never been that player who will sit back. But then he has a lot of tantrums also. That's
why he is the most hated player.
Yeah.
Sometimes it becomes difficult for me to defend. But as a Madrid fan, I always defend him.
Like I see him doing stuff and then I'm like, come on, man.
Come on, you could have avoided
You're
that.
a Madrid player, man.
Have that.
Yeah.
But then he can't back it up anymore. Last season, if he was doing this, it made sense. Like, fine, I can back it up.
He could cry and crib about it.
But then again, he had the stats.
Yeah.
And he's winning. But right now, he's not scoring nor assisting. Yet he's throwing tantrums.
Yeah, I think he's proving everybody's point.
Yeah, exactly.
As to why Rodri deserved the Ballon d'Or and not Vini. Yeah.
So yeah, it's all, again, it's a very competitive situation right now.
Yeah.
I think Barca are winning the league, but it's going to be a tight race.
Yeah.
Madrid aren't going to let up. They are going to have some problems. They'll probably lose the league by a point or two.
Yeah.
But still, it's going to be a tight race.
Yeah.
Similarly, the Champions League is going to be the same.
Very,
I think
very, very difficult.
Barca have an easy route.
Yeah.
Controversial, I know, but still, they have a comparatively easier route.
Yeah.
Their strongest opponent is going to be Dortmund, who are not the same Dortmund that played in the final last season.
Yeah, it's a very different Dortmund team.
Different Dortmund.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, Madrid have already played Man City, Atletico Madrid, and will probably play playing Arsenal.
Are playing Arsenal.
And then they'll play PSG or Bayern. So that's
probably PSG.
Probably PSG.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in another episode. That's a big deep dive.
We'll talk about the Champions League in depth.
So to sum it up, basically Madrid, if they reach the final, they're going to have the very tough path. But it's nothing new to Madrid. They have always performed.
And they have always found a way. Yeah.
By hook or by crook? Mostly by crook. Yeah. Again, controversial, I know, but by crook, Perez. Always looming.
Yeah.
Always looming. But yeah, I think they may reach the final. Their biggest hurdle will be PSG.
Yeah.
If they are to
by
defeat.
far.
By far. But yeah, if they reach the final will be a different ball game for Barca. Barca are doing very well.
It will be like the first, big match for
the youngsters.
Yeah.
The youngsters are doing well. They have defeated us in the league and in the Super Cup, but it's all in Spain. UCL Madrid is different.
And it's going to be after a long time that we actually see Barca in the Champions League final.
Yeah. Their pressure is real.
Very, very.
Madrid are used to that pressure.
They have been in the...
They have passed... How many years they've been in the final? It's nothing to them.
They have been... they have won the Champions League by winning against Man City, or Man City has overtook them. Yeah.
So they are not new to this pressure, and they will perform.
Yeah.
Even Mbappe World
Cup.
I mean,
there are a lot of players in that team who, for some reason, has that belief always, even when they're losing matches. Like I see from the moment Bellingham came into the team, he always had that mentality that this is Madrid, we can win it, and they have always found a way to do it. So I have not seen that in Barca. I think a few players have it, like I see Rafinha fighting for the
Fighting
match.
for the match. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a good watch for the UCL final. But I would still prefer if there is a different team in the final, like PSG.
PSG would be a fun match.
Very fun match.
PSG Barca would be a fun match.
PSG, and before that, if PSG actually goes to the final, they probably have to face Arsenal or Madrid, which
probably Madrid.
Madrid, which is going to be a great match. I think that'll be a good semi-final, like that Man City versus Real Madrid.
That's actually a good shot to be a final as well. If the brackets were different. Yeah, but everybody wants an El Clasico final.
Everybody wants it. And
everybody
probably that's going to be the biggest
match
after a long time.
Like probably after the 2022 World Cup, this will be the biggest match to watch. But yeah, so what are your thoughts? Who do you think, if it's a El Clasico final, who do you think is going to win?
I would say Barca.
But I still think it's going to be Madrid in the Champions League. I'm giving it to Barca, no doubt.
I think it's going to be Barca because I think they have a lot of things to prove. They have things to prove, like they can do it. And it's a young team, so I think they are going to fight for the badge. Especially lot of La Masia players are playing. Lot. And young team. So, and I think they do deserve a Champions League this season at least. And if they win it, then I think we know who the Ballon d'Or is going to.
Rafinha. And plus, Barca winning the Champions League is backed because they have already demolished us twice. So it's reasonable that
mostly all teams they have.
Whole team. But Madrid is Madrid. In the Champions League, you can never predict what's going to happen.
Another triple touch is going to happen in the final.
Suddenly someone is fouled inside the box. Nobody knows how.
Suddenly Kubarsi gets a red card.
A big red card happens and boom, Madrid are suddenly in the lead. Like in the Liverpool-Madrid final, the latest one, we had 2 shots on target. One was a goal. They had 22 shots on target, no goals. We just have a superstar player suddenly emerging. Or by God's grace or by referee's grace, we are winning. So,
but you don't have Joselu anymore to come in the last second and scoring goals. But you do have Endrick.
We always have that one player who is not expecting.
I think they're always ready in the bench. Like they are always ready to come on and score goals.
That Rodrigo, Man City match. I gave up. I switched off my TV. Like, come on, it's done.
I was about to post on Insta, like, we are winning, like we finally.
Finally. But boom. What happened? And then a penalty, of course.
I switched off my phone. I went to sleep. Like, I'm awake in middle of the night.
Like, come
sacrificing my sleep.
It was fun, but not for you as a Man City fan.
We got our revenge the next year.
It's always like that. So this year we won. Next year I'm assuming you guys will win.
The next year, that match was the best performance I have seen from Man City side.
We were dominated.
Like I could see Cruz, Modric, Valverde. They were all over the place. I could see Vini and Benzema literally cribbing to Ancelotti in between the goals. Like, what do we do?
What are we doing here? But so you're expecting Barca to win. Madrid to win. So again, we're at the crossroads.
We like everything opposite, so I guess that's how it will be.
So league, you expect Barca to win?
I don't know, man. It's very tough. Like La Liga is very competitive now.
Especially
it's just
with
3
Atletico,
teams. Like great job they are doing. But then I feel like Barca is going to edge.
Same. So that's about it.
I think we should end. It's a good place to end.
Exactly. So we'll be talking more about our first 2 teams, Man United and Man City, in a separate video dedicated to that. So
we are going to cover a lot of things because City and Man United match Derby Day is coming.
Derby Day is coming. So
so there's
stay
a lot of
tuned
things.
for more content. And so this is it for the first episode.
Hopefully you guys liked it, and
feel free to comment or share any reviews,
and tell us
where we went wrong or where we went right. Anything controversial you want to talk about?
We are up
it's
for
all
everything.
Open. Exactly. So cheers, guys.
See you soon.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye.